Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, today I am so excited to share a literal mind-bending discovery with you all. We're looking at a scientific breakthrough that completely rewrites everything we thought we knew about the origins of some of the most common everyday creatures we share our planet with. So buckle up, because we're traveling back hundreds of millions of years to look at our world in a completely new way. We usually think of history-altering discoveries as these massive, undeniable events, right? Like unearthing a towering T-Rex skeleton. But in science, it's often the absolute micro that explains the macro. In this specific case, an incredibly tiny detail, literally just a scratch, something barely visible on a 500 million-year-old rock, has acted as the ultimate detective clue. It's completely upending the evolutionary timeline as we know it. Okay, let's dive into this. Take a second and just ask yourself, how old are the ancestors of modern spiders? Really? Most of us might guess, I don't know, a few million years, maybe around the time of the dinosaurs. Well, whatever number you have in your head right now, I'm willing to bet you need to add a few extra zeros. We're about to challenge all of our basic assumptions regarding the ancient origins of a massive group of animals called chelicerates. And that brings us to Section 1, the détail qui change tout, or the detail that changes everything. So every great mystery has an inciting incident, and ours starts with a fossil from the Wheeler Formation in Utah. But get this, it sat completely unnoticed in a dusty museum collection for decades. Decades! And when someone finally did take a look, it took over 50 hours of painstaking, meticulous microscope work just to prep it. Imagine that. 50 hours of staring through a lens, carefully brushing away ancient rock, all just to spot a tiny, seemingly innocuous appendage that would ultimately change the entire game. And, well, here is the reward for those 50 agonizing hours. If you look closely at that highlighted portion, you're seeing a barely visible claw. Specifically, it's an antenna-like structure that researchers realized was actually a chelicera. Now, this is a huge deal because these pincers, or chelicera, are the fundamental anatomical feature that sets this group of animals apart from your regular run-of-the-mill insects. And before this exact moment, no clear example of these structures had ever been documented from this ancient era. None. Okay, so we've looked at the microscopic detail. Let's shift gears to the macro level with Section 2, Rencontre avec le monstre, or Meeting the Monster. Now, what's really interesting here is we finally get to see the whole picture. This is a 3D artistic render of our ancient sea bug, officially named Megachelicerax cousteaui. And yeah, if that name is ringing a bell, you're totally right. The researchers affectionately named it in honor of the legendary ocean explorer Jacques Cousteau. How cool is that? So let's break down exactly what we're looking at with this little monster. This creature had a seriously quirky, honestly kind of alien-like anatomy. First off, it was small, just over 8 centimeters long. It had this hard cephalic shield up top, followed by 9 distinct body segments. Up front, it boasted 6 pairs of highly specialized head appendages, which were perfectly adapted to capture prey and sense its environment in those wild ancient seas. Oh, and underneath, it had respiratory plates for breathing that look strikingly similar to the gills you'd see on modern horseshoe crabs today. So we have an 8-centimeter marine predator with specialized pincers. Why does that rewrite history? Well, let's jump to Section 3, En bond dans le temps, which means a leap in time. You see, previously, our best estimates placed the evolutionary origin of these animals much, much later. Why? Simply because we had a massive missing link. We had a total lack of clear fossils showing those distinct claws. But this new mid-Cambrian discovery acts as a perfect bridge across that huge gap. Actually, to put that into perspective, it effectively pushes the evolutionary history of this entire major group of arthropods back by a staggering 20 million years. 20 million! But the thing is, this discovery doesn't just fill in a gap on a timeline. It brings us straight into Section 4, Le paradoxe de l'évolution, or the evolution paradox. So the crucial point here is this fascinating paradox between anatomical innovation and ecological expansion. I mean, you might logically assume that getting a massive biological upgrade, like suddenly evolving a highly specialized set of hunting claws, would lead to immediate world domination, right? Like game over for the prey. But this fossil shows us that's not always how nature works. Despite having this incredible early anatomical innovation, these animals actually remained relatively discreet, kind of flying under the radar for millions of years, way before they truly diversified and conquered land environments. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the lasting power of a genuinely good design. When you look at the ancient 500 million-year-old 3D sea bug render right alongside a modern spider resting near a fossil, the connection is wild. This ancient body plan, that exact early blueprint we see in Megachelicerax cousteaui, still persists today across an incredibly durable evolutionary lineage. Think about it. This exact same foundational design is shared by more than 120,000 highly successful species alive right now. We're talking everything from the spiders chilling in your garden to scorpions out in the desert and even microscopic mites. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Now, to truly appreciate the sheer scale of this, we need to zoom all the way out to the macro level. Section 5, L'Héritage du Cambrien, the Cambrian legacy. We're talking about the famous Cambrian explosion. Between 540 and 485 million years ago, life on Earth essentially went into hyperdrive. This was an era of intense, impossibly rapid diversification. Deep in the oceans, sudden changes in chemistry, and a really intense evolutionary arms race between new predators and prey completely spurred massive biological innovation. This is exactly when complex body plans emerged, stuff we totally take for granted today, like hard shells, specialized appendages, and even eyes. It literally laid the absolute groundwork for modern fauna. There's this one phrase from the source material that I absolutely love. It describes this as a period of evolutionary creativity. And examining this era is just so vital because it helps us understand the emergence of lasting biological novelties. The exoskeletons, the distinct segmentation of bodies, the claws, they were all born in this incredible crucible of creativity. It's a stark reminder of just how deeply connected our modern world is to those ancient, bustling oceans of the Cambrian period. So I want to leave you with a bit of a lingering question. Remember, this timeline-shattering fossil was sitting in a museum collection for decades, totally ignored, before a scientist finally put it under a microscope for 50 hours and noticed one tiny little claw. So, what other invisible details, what other world-changing secrets are sitting completely unnoticed in dusty museum drawers right now, just waiting for the exact right person to take a closer look? It is such a thrilling thought. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes open. You really never know what tiny detail might change absolutely everything.